Given a radio wave with a frequency of 108 megahertz, what is its wavelength? So that 108 megahertz, I can interpret that as the frequency f. And megahertz is 10 to the 6 hertz. So this will be 108 times 10 to the 6 hertz. There's not a lot of other information that's given to me here to help me find the wavelength, but it's common knowledge in physics that radio waves travel basically at the same speed as light does. They're both electromagnetic waves, and light travels at about 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. To be a little bit more precise for this question, and because I want to match the sig figs that my slide has, I mean, that's not something I think is necessarily a huge deal, but I want to match this slide. And so I've gone ahead and looked up the more precise number for the speed of light. It's pretty easy to do that these days with the internet. And instead of 3 times 10 to the 8, it's 2.998 at 4 significant figures times 10 to the 8 meters per second. So that should hopefully make it so that I'll match what this slide says. Now we're being asked for the wavelength. So let me, just to help me figure out what I'm going to do, I've written down lambda is equal to a not so great looking question mark, but that's meant to be a question mark there. And the formula that we have from the key concept slide, one of the most basic wave formulas there is wavelength times frequency is equal to wave speed. And since we're being asked for lambda, that gives me the idea that maybe I should divide both sides by frequency here to isolate lambda. So lambda is equal to v over f, and at that point I can take these numbers that I have and put them into this expression. You'll have to bear with me for a second while I write all of that. With all these powers of 10. All right, and that I can put into my calculator. And my calculator says for this 2.77592, etc. That's more sig figs than I need. I think I could round that off to 2.776, and the units should be in meters. So that's 2.776 meters. Let's go ahead and check that with the slide. There it is, 2.776 meters.